In this section, two-dimensional area and perimeter, our objective is to be able to use formulas for area, perimeter, and circumference of two-dimensional objects to solve real-world problems. Let's begin with what area, perimeter, and volume mean. Area is the space covered in two dimensions. 2D for short, and we use square units, or that's how we measure area. Think of cover, like if you paint a wall, or you carpet a floor, or tile, anything that covers something. If we draw a shape, it's the space that we color inside that shape. Whereas perimeter is the total length of all of the sides of a two-dimensional figure. Think of distance around, like the rim in perimeter. So if I draw a shape, it's not the inside of it anymore. It's this length and this length and this length and this length all together. The area is that part that I'm shading inside. Volume is the space contained in the interior of a solid. A solid is 3 dimensions, and we use cubic units. The difference between saying cubic units and square units is when I say like centimeters squared versus centimeters cubed, or feet squared versus feet cubed, or square inches, where I write it out, versus cubic inches, where I write it out. Think of fill a container, like liquid in a cup. For all of these types of problems, you are going to be using formulas from your formula sheet. Here are just 4 formulas that we're going to be using in some examples. This one is a pyramid. Pyramids come to a point. This one is a pyramid. This solid right here, also 3 dimensions, is a prism. This represents any kind of prism. Notice a prism doesn't come to one point, and when I mean come to a point, I mean you have a base that is some shape, like this rectangular pyramid, and then all of the vertices of the base connect up to the top at one vertex, one point. Versus a prism, you have 2 bases. See this capital B for base, rather area of base, but you have 2 bases. I'm going to shade them in, the bottom base and the top base, and those bases are connected by edges that come down. They connect those bases. Pyramid 1 base, prism 2 bases. Pyramid 1 base, prism 2 bases. And these are going to be helpful two-dimensional figures that show us the perimeter or area of that base. For example, in our formula sheet, we have the capital B when we're trying to find volume. The capital B represents the area of the base. And if the base is a rectangle, that's what we're going to do. Use this for. Look at this rectangle and use this formula for the area of the base. Then we have the lateral area formula where we have a lowercase p. That p represents the perimeter, and the perimeter we get from the formula for the perimeter of that rectangle. So we have to sometimes connect using 2 different formulas on our formula sheet, sometimes even more. Take a look at this prism. If I want the volume formula, notice that I have in the volume formula capital B again. So again, that's area of the base being a triangle in this picture. I'm going to reference the triangle formula and go to the area of that triangular base. Now notice in the triangle formula there's 2 areas. We're always going to be using this one in this class. We don't have to worry about that other one. Let's take a look at some examples. Number 1, a rectangular pyramid. So it's important that we know that it's a pyramid so we know which solid to refer to on the formula sheet, and that it's rectangular because that tells us the shape of the base. The base is a rectangle, a rectangular pyramid whose base measures 5 feet by 3 feet is shown. Well, it doesn't have the dimensions in the picture. Sometimes it does that. You have to get it from the information that's written and put it in your picture. So 5 feet by 3 feet means that the base that's a rectangle is 5 feet long and 3 feet wide. Let's continue to read. Find the area of the base of the pyramid. So I see the base is a rectangle. I'm going to draw that separate from the picture, just the rectangular base. 5 feet on one dimension, 3 feet on the other dimension, the length and the width. So I know that I need the area of this rectangle. I reference my area formula from the rectangle part of the formula sheet. So that says A equals LW. In the picture, notice L is this side, the length, W is the width. So I'm going to plug in 5 times 3. That makes 15. Now, this is feet times feet, so this is feet squared or square feet. Part B, find the perimeter of the base of the pyramid. So again, my base, which is 5 feet by 3 feet, is a rectangle. So I go to the perimeter formula. P equals 2L plus 2W. They show me the length and the width to help me with my formula, 5 and 3. So 2 times 5 plus 2 times 3. So 10 plus 6, 16. Now this is just feet plus feet, so this will be feet, 16 feet. Only the area is square units. Let's do another one. A triangular prism is shown. Again, the type of prism that it is refers to the base. The base, and since it's a prism, there are 2 bases. So the bases are triangles. Now, often when we think of base, we think of bottom, but it's not necessarily shown as sitting on its base. Sometimes the solid has, you can think of it like fallen over, therefore the base is facing you. In this picture, it's facing us. This is one of the triangular bases, and see the other triangular base is in the back. How do I know that these are the bases? Because in a prism, there are 2 bases, and those bases are parallel to each other. So we have 2 bases. A, find the area of the base of the prism. So again, the base is a triangle. So I'm going to look to my formulas from my formula sheet. You have this on your notes. And the base, which is a triangle, the area for a triangle right there. So I'm going to say area equals 1/2 lowercase b times lowercase h. Lowercase b means the length of the base. H means the height of the base. So look at this picture. The length of the base says 12, so this is our little b. The height of the base says 16, so this is our h. So 1/2 times 12 times 16. Or 6 times 16, since half of 12, which is 96. This is area, and I'm using centimeters, and area is square units. So 96 centimeters squared, or say it square centimeters. B, find the perimeter of the base of the prism. Now, the base is a triangle, and the triangle on our formula sheet only has an area formula. So we have to remember that the perimeter is the length of all the sides, the total length of all the sides. So let's recreate this picture here. A right triangle in that picture with 12 is the length of the base, 16 as the height of the base. If I want the length of all the sides, I'm missing a side right here. But we know how to find that side because this is a right triangle. This is our C, and Pythagorean theorem helps us to find that missing side. So C equals 20. That missing length here is 20. It's also a triple. It's a 3, 4, 5 that's been multiplied by 4. Just a helpful hint. So I'm going to go back and know that perimeter means adding up all of the sides, so 12 plus 16 plus 20, or 48 centimeters in total. Great.